I was born a feminist on Thanksgiving weekend 1975 when over 1,000 Roman Catholic women met to insist on women's rights to be ordained to a renewed priestly ministry in our church. Failing, as the overwhelming majority of human beings do, to remember my bodily birth, I am privileged enough to remember every detail of this birth to the struggle for liberation. These words were written by María Isasi-Díaz. Ada was a Cuban Catholic woman and the founder of Mujerista Theology, a feminist theology that focuses its efforts and analysis on the daily lives, lo cotidiano, of impoverished Latina women. Ada spent time amongst the world's poor in Lima, Peru, and in various parts of the United States. Although she had a master's in medieval studies and both a master's and doctoral degree in theology and taught at Drew University for many years, it was the world's poor who provided Ada with her richest sources for theology. It was the poor of the world who brought her closer to God and gave her hope for the church. Ada's commitment to the poor is intimately wrapped up in her Mujerista theology, intermingled with an understanding that the liberation of women is not an option in the total economic, spiritual, and material liberation, but a requirement. As she herself stated it, it was the issue of women's ordination that brought her into the manifold movements of liberation that she would spend her years afterwards, up until her death, deeply involved in. In 1976, she met Yolanda Tarango at a call to action conference. The two women would go on to write the first iteration of Mujerista theology in a book published in 1992. It was Yolanda who invited Ada to be part of Las Hermanas, an organization of Latina women who were most active in the 1970s and 80s. Although Mary B. Lynch, founder of Women's Ordination Conference, had already invited Las Hermanas to be a part of their organization before Ada joined, it was still this dual membership in these two groups for Ada, sometimes overlapping and at other times painful and contradictory, that formed her and formed her theology. Women's ordination remained a central issue for her in her written words and action. In 1985, at the Third National Encuentro for Hispanic Ministry, it was Ada who staged a resistance after the committee members would not allow a vote to take place on the language of support for women's ordination in the final document. She gathered women to pray the rosary outside of the National Cathedral. While the language of the final document fell short of a support for women's ordination, Ada's organization of a resistance remains a potent memory in the history of our church. Another moment where women did not allow the reality of a slow-moving church to stop them from demanding equality now. Ada was not really prone to waiting for the Vatican or the bishops to give her permission at all. Beginning in 2007, Ada ministered with a community in New York City that had lost a priest due to parish closings. She took up the charge with grace and began preaching and ministering in a way only one called by the Holy Spirit might do. While she remained always Catholic, she never mistook a loyalty to the church with complacency. Ada died almost a full year before Pope Francis was elected. But sometimes, and together with Yolanda Tarango, who remained her best friend until the moment she died, and sometimes alone while I'm reading and writing about her and reading her, I like to imagine what that would have changed for her, what Pope Francis would have changed for her, what she could have done and could have been with a pope who has opened the church in the way that Francis has. I like to imagine what she would have commented on the Synod on Synodality's final document. Now, her key understanding of liberation and one of her biggest contributions to theology was the idea of lo cotidiano, the quotidian, the everyday life. She argues that it is the everyday life of impoverished Latina women that provide the key to understanding whether progress is being made. I hope you all had the privilege to sit in on some of the synodal listening sessions at some point over the last few years as this process has been going on. In my experience, They were showings of the very thing Ada knew to be true. The everyday experience of a religion and spiritualities matter. The wisdom we can garner from these quotidians, these cotidianos, is important for theologizing. To theologize without being attuned to that, to theorize without understanding this, is to ignore the very mission of the church. Francis, in my opinion, has shown us that he agrees. In a document published a few weeks ago, Francis argues that theology ought to have what he calls an inductive method, meaning that it must start from grassroots realities. He argues that it ought to be connected to real lives and real people. He calls this the quote-unquote pastoral stamp of all theology. In my reading, the final document of the Synod made an advancement in the Church's understanding of the weak points of the priesthood as it is now articulated. The document calls out clericalism for what it is, a chauvinist mentality. However, with Ada's contributions in mind, we cannot help but think to ourselves, what change does this really make? Where in the Church is change happening that attends to the daily realities of women, to the daily needs of the Church, to the incarnated, enfleshed realities of the people of God? Now, certainly there's a lot to be said by the way this historic process included women and their voices, and the final document spoke many truths when it spoke of women. But as women's ordination gets passed down, gets for another group and another research organization, I think Ada would have agreed with us all here that the time for equality is now. As we celebrate the anniversary of that historical day in 1975, when Roman Catholic women met in Detroit, we also celebrate Ada María Isasi-Díaz's birth into the struggle for liberation. We celebrate the way her own conviction and her own calling through the Holy Spirit led her to serve God's people and minister with the world's poor. I am grateful for her life and honored to live in her legacy as we continue in the struggle for liberation. I'm sorry that I could not be there with you all today, but I am praying for you as you celebrate in fiesta this historical moment in our church's history. Ada María Isasi-Díaz, presente.